welcome to the Caffrey Class Network. I'm Emily Schwartz, and today we're diving into a growing concern in today's digital world, cyberbullying. It's one of the fastest rising social and psychological issues of our time, where technology, communication, and cruelty collide. Our main story tonight is based on the article Cyberbullying, a New Social Menace by Chong Guan and his colleagues, published in the Asian Journal of Psychiatry in 2016. According to Guan and his team, cyberbullying means intentionally harming or harassing others through digital technology, like social media, text messages, or online chats. Unlike traditional bullying, it doesn't end when the school day is over. It can happen anytime, anywhere, and by anyone. The study found that 30 to 55% of students have been involved in cyberbullying, whether as a victim, a perpetrator, or as a bystander. To understand why it happens, Guan and his colleagues identified some key risk factors for both bullies and victims. For people who bully others, risk factors include a non-supportive school environment, risky online behaviors, peer pressure or friends who also bully, and personality traits like narcissism or desire for control. For victims, risk factors include poor body image, obesity, non-heteronormative identity like LGBTQ+, and spending long periods of time on social media. In simple terms, cyberbullying tends to thrive where people don't feel supported, spend too much time online, or struggle with confidence or identity. Cyberbullying doesn't leave a physical bruise, but the emotional damage can also be deep and long-lasting. The study found strong links between cyberbullying and depression, anxiety, loneliness, and suicidal thoughts. Victims often lose motivation, perform worse in schools, and feel unsafe, both online and in real life. And those who are both bullies and victims sometimes are called bully victims. They face the most serious emotional challenges of all, including low self-esteem and severe stress. The article also looked at how gender with age affects cyberbullying. Whether it comes to gender, the results were mixed. Some studies found that males were more likely to be cyberbullies, often linked to lower empathy or higher aggression. Others found that females engaged in cyberbullying more indirectly, like spreading rumors or posting hurtful comments, since they're less likely to use physical aggression. As for victims, some studies found females were targeted more, while others found little difference, showing that anyone could be affected. When it comes to age, younger children under 12 are less likely to experience cyberbullying, but they also have less awareness about it when it happens. Adolescents, especially between the ages 12 and 16, are at higher risks since they spend more time online and care deeply about social image. And as for young adults, especially in college, cyberbullying often becomes more subtle, like exclusion, public shaming, or rumor spreading. The less supervision that they have, the more freedom bullies have to act. Now here's where it gets interesting. Guam and his team highlighted several programs that have successfully reduced cyberbullying around the world. The first is the Kiva program, developed in Finland. This one focuses on bystanders, teaching students to show empathy and step in whenever they see bullying happen. Schools that use Kiva saw a noticeable drop in online harassment. Next, there's Media Heroes program in Germany, which focuses more on education and digital awareness. It teaches students about the impact of harmful online behavior and encourages them to build a positive online culture. And finally, the peer-led role model program from Italy trains students themselves to become mentors and leaders, setting examples for others and stopping bullying within their friend groups. The article concludes that programs work best when they build empathy, awareness, and community. To sum it up, Guan and his colleagues show that cyberbullying is not just kids being mean online. It's a psychological, emotional, and social threat that can leave lasting scars. Our second study builds on those ideas by asking an important question: what actually works to stop cyberbullying? This 2023 systematic review, published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, analyzed 46 different studies from around the world. Researchers reviewed programs that try to reduce cyberbullying in schools, colleges, and online communities. And here's what they found. Nearly all the successful programs had one thing in common. They were multi-component interventions. That means that they didn't just target students, but also parents, teachers, and peers. These programs worked by teaching digital literacy, promoting empathy and accountability, creating safer school and online environments. Some examples include workshops, media educational programs, peer-led support groups, all designed to help young people reflect before they post and stand up for others when they see cyberbullying happen. The review also pointed out that while many interventions show some success, there's still a lack of consistency in how studies measure results. So, more long-term research is needed to figure out which methods make the biggest difference. In short, both studies agree awareness, empathy, and community involvement are key to fighting cyberbullying. But the digital world is evolving fast, so our prevention methods have to keep up. Now, we've seen what the research says, but what does it look like in real life?
Listo. Hello, my name's Amor Rivera, and today I am with
Hector Peña. I am a registered behavior technician, or in other words, an RBT.
So I had a few questions for you today, and to begin with, what are some signs a person may be struggling with cyberbullying?
So I would say some signs for someone who may be struggling with cyberbullying can be a sudden change in anything. So a sudden change in their emotions, their behavior, their routine. So we can say like a sudden change in their behavior, such as an increase in aggression or something like that. You can see the emotional aspect in like they're more sad, they're more distressed, they're more depressed. A sudden change in their routine, something like they don't want to go to school as much. They're missing out. They don't want to go to work as much. So a lot of tardies, a lot of unexcused absences. So yeah.
So regarding with that, how would you as an RBT approach someone who's stealing and struggling with cyberbullying?
I would say that first and foremost, I would make sure that we make the environment trustworthy and safety. So they make sure that they feel trusted, they feel like they can trust you, they feel safe. I would say that building rapport with your client is very, very important. So any person will not want to receive no type of therapy from you, or will not want to disclose any information if they don't feel comfortable with you, if they don't feel like they connected with you, if they don't feel like they've gotten this good vibe from you. There's many certain things where you have to make sure that you build a good rapport with them. Make sure that you have an open body language, so you're continuing to face them, you have good eye contact, you're looking at them most of the time, you're looking at them all the time, of course, making sure that they feel understood and heard. So again, they will not want to receive no type of therapy from you if they don't feel heard, they don't feel understood, especially if they've been in certain instances where maybe they have spoken to the family members, or they have spoken to people about being cyberbullied, but they don't believe them. So you have to make sure that you're that person in that gap where you're able to actually listen to them, where you're empathetic, and you actually let them voice their opinion to you. I would say some other things is making sure that you can do coping mechanisms like deep breathing. You can apply cognitive behavioral therapy, so CBT, where basically you replace negative and bad thoughts into positive thoughts. So these negative thoughts that they will have, you make sure that you substitute them into something like more positive, realistic, and healthier thoughts.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
My name is Bob Schwartz. I work in the drug and alcohol treatment facilities as a certified addiction specialist and a certified addiction counselor.
How do emotional pain and online harassment connect to addiction or risky behaviors?
At the heart of all substance abuse, there are underlying emotional issues. There's a variety. It's the inability to cope with life and the things that occur in life. And anybody that is using drugs and alcohol have significant self-esteem issues, difficulties coping with life. And as I said, the variety of clients that I see, there's a lot of differences, but there are a lot of similarities. The pain of being harassed or feeling insecure is at the heart of most people who struggle with substance dependence. So cyberbullying is a big issue for the younger people that come in.
What are some healthy ways people can cope instead of turning to substances?
Knowing that there is help that's out there, coping it's difficult in that there's needs to be a support system in place. It can't be, if being addicted to the substances is at the heart of the issue, then just finding alternative things to do to cope is oftentimes not enough. There needs to be a support system and a legitimate effort within oneself to start making some changes about how they view life. And those changes oftentimes can be very, very hard to determine and see, which is why finding help is very, very important. Finding a support system and taking advantage of that support system is very, very important. Substance dependency, just by its very nature, is a disease of isolation. Oftentimes, when people are struggling with emotional issues, emotional pains, especially things that attack an individual at the personal or at the self-esteem level, people embrace the idea that there's something wrong with me, and they retreat into themselves, and that just perpetuates the condition. It makes it worse. So, in order to truly deal with the issues that they're dealing with, it's important to find support. Not just people who are empathetic, but people who truly understand, that have dealt with these issues themselves and have found that they can overcome it.
Well, thank you for your time. That's the end of the interview.
You're welcome.
Well, my first question would be like, what are some of the long-term effects of cyberbullying and just how it can affect people?
So everyone can be affected a little different. Suicide is always a reality. Depression can also be an effect from cyberbullying. For some people, it can trigger some old traumas because, sometimes they know who's doing it, sometimes they don't know who's doing it. They don't know what people know. They don't know how far it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it can trigger a lot of different things in different people. Some people don't want to go to school; they'll quit jobs, or it can even get them fired from their job, depending on what's out there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Addiction issues. People can turn to coping skills that are not the healthiest. So a lot of things can be affected. A lot of self-esteem, self-worth.
mm-hmm.
Just to name a few.
Is there any ways that you found that, like, for any advice that you can give on how to combat cyberbullying, or just a way to help lessen it if someone is being cyberbullied?
They need to report it. They can report it to the police. Sometimes the police can help with that. There is a new law in Illinois that if people are, like if an ex-boyfriend has sexual pictures and is distributing them, they can actually go and press charges on like the ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. So the first thing that I always tell people is like contact, like if it's on Snapchat or Facebook or like some of the social media places, they can and they have taken stuff down. So that would be the first place I always tell my clients to go. I've also talked about blocking, making their accounts private if they have social media, or even sometimes getting off social media. It's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their fault they're being bullied. It's not their fault what happened. So it's also building up that self-esteem and self-worth and not blaming them, because there's a lot of people that's already going to be blaming them.
My name's Ashley, and I'm a performing arts major at IRSC.
When did you first realize that what was happening online was cyberbullying?
Well, the fact that they didn't leave me alone, and the fact they were just attacking me, and they were just like they turned from people I once knew into bullies right before my eyes. And I couldn't even see them behind their screens.
Did it start suddenly or did it build up over time?
It started pretty suddenly, but I feel like it built up over time while behind my head, where I couldn't hear anything. I was too blindsided by their flattery to even realize the cold hard truth that it's fake friends in the online world known as the internet.
How does that
I
make
don't
you
mind.
feel?
Luckily, I haven't been bullied in quite a while, and online occasionally I get comments regarding my disability, but luckily it doesn't happen much anymore. As this happened years ago, and now that I've gone to college, it's stopped happening completely. But it is true that cyberbullying can still happen even after you graduate.
How do you
Yes.
think we can prevent cyberbullying happening in the future?
Well, one thing to definitely do is to um, possibly limit screen time, but also mainly limit constant use to social media, and also like maybe some sort of curfew, or um, just especially if they're a minor, they need extra protection because they could be talking to absolute weirdos or really bad people, and they could start bullying these children.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't really something we should keep seeing, as children are losing these spaces for them to be kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you for your time and thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Thank you to everyone who shared their experiences with us today. After looking at the research and hearing real voices from our community, one thing is clear. Cyberbullying isn't just an online problem. So as we close today's report, just remember this. What we post matters. What we say matters. And how we treat each other online matters just as much as how we act face to face. Cyberbullying may be a modern problem, but the solution is timeless. Kindness, empathy, and community is important. For Caffrey Class News Network, I'm Emily Schwartz. Thank you for watching and stay safe, both on and offline.